So this assignment in your 3D design class is called the 100s, or the world of the 10,000 things and the world of the one. And what you're looking at here in this image is a bird in a cage, and as you get closer, what you discover is that the bird is made out of hundreds of safety pins, all work together to form this bird. And the assignment refers to a Buddhist and Taoist concept, which we'll talk about in a moment. Here's your assignment, is to make an assemblage sculpture. So again, it's a sculpture that can be created from any materials and can use any method of assemblage and putting things together. But it must include at least 100 identical objects, each one at least approximately 1 cubic inch in size. Now it can be more than 100 and it can be larger than 1 cubic inch, but those are your basic parameters. And the piece must read as a unified, fully considered work of art. And here is the central idea, that when you start putting in that many objects, you need to find some method of organization and structure. And you'll see that there's a whole section in your reading about kind of chaos and unity, bringing order to the multiple things. And that's what this assignment is all about, is finding a way to bring order to these many things. Here's a wonderful piece by a student. What he did is he took a commercial plastic Buddha and he took many molds of it in plaster and then cast multiple plasters until he had 100 plaster Buddhas. Actually, these might have been ceramic. I can't remember if he slip cast them. He may have. And then one Buddha jumping up. So it's called, I think, 99 Buddhas and One Hurrah is the title of the piece. And he had this shelf structure that he could use, that he had lying around somewhere in his house, and he just picked that up. So here's a concept. Here's some of that expression from Taoism. That the self advances and confirms the 10,000 things is called delusion. So the one looking towards the many is called delusion. But the many, that the 10,000 things advances and confirms the self, is called enlightenment. Being able to see a unified, a one, a self in all the multiplicity in the world is enlightenment. This is Zen master Dogen Zenji, living from 1200 to 1253. And so these ideas, here's a piece by Lisa Jeton, done while she was a resident, artist in residence down in San Diego at a national park on the shore. And she made these ceramic forms, and then each one she colored to match some aspect of the environment around her. So these are all colors found in the park where she was a resident. And here is the artist herself with her piece. So chapter 42 of the Tao Te Ching says, the 10,000 things is a common phrase found in Taoist and Buddhist writings to connote the material's diversity, to connote the material diversity of the universe. Lao Tzu, for example, writes in the Tao Te Ching. So here it is. This is a section of chapter 42. Tao produced the one produced the two produced the three, and the three produced the 10,000 things. The 10,000 things carry the yin and embrace the yang, and through the blending of the material force, they achieve harmony. And that's a pretty good overarching intuitive poetry to talk about this project, that you're bringing in many, many things, but you're blending them, blending these material forces to achieve a kind of visual harmony. That's the project. So let's look at lots of examples of this. Here's a student project using zip ties, more than 100 zip ties, and the objects in the middle are stuffed animals that have been squeezed out of any hope of recognition. Here is an intriguing project where 6 different directions of pencils are employed. And because the pencils themselves are hexagonal, this kind of design tends to make sense. It comes together because of the hexagonal shape of the pencils. Here is a full-size dress, and the dress is covered with images of pornography. Here's a chair where the chair shape is covered with Gerber baby bottles. And this is a wall full of boxes, like matchboxes. Here, cigarette boxes. This kind of composition of colored modules is a real strong possibility for this assignment. This tower in the background is made out of stacked books, stacked and attached books. And here is a portrait. I think this might be Eminem, I'm not sure. But it's made entirely out of deck screws. And this is a wonderful, this piece is about 4 or 5 feet tall. It's a piece by Martin Prurier, and you can see that it is incorporating hundreds and hundreds of these wood strips, these little strips all woven together to make the form. And here is a close-up detail. I don't have the full piece of something made from socks and mittens, socks and mittens. Here you're looking at Mona Lisa upside down, but when you look through a lens, it's flipped right side up. But what is even more interesting is that the entire thing is created by shifting colored spools of thread, and that's the whole piece. This form starts out as a shaped wooden form that then has nails nailed into it and then bent over, and then they're ground to make the shape. So this is all just nails kind of swarming over this surface. Here, this wonderful kimono-like shape with mirrors on the inside is covered on the outside with dog tags. And if you look, you can see that they not only come and cover the whole floor, but they actually go out the door and down the hall of this installation. Here, these horses are made out of melted and attached kitchen utensils, different kinds of tools and utensils. These books are attached by their spines to the center, and then there's a folding kind of process that goes on to create a kind of floral or organic looking profile. Here is a wave made out of vinyl records. These sheep are made out of telephones, and these are the kinds of telephones that existed when I was a kid. These are the phones that were attached to the wall and had all kinds of curly wires to attach the handset to the main body of the phone. And so you can see that the sheep are made out of the curly wires and the heads are the phones. This is the stalactites and stalagmites, kind of lantern images, and they're entirely made out of prescription medicine bottles with a light inside the structure. These are, this is something you could definitely easily get a hold of if you went to bike shops and asked them to save you for a while inner tubes. These are all bicycle inner tubes with wooden balls pushed through to the end and then attached to the wall. Here's another piece with bicycle inner tubes. And I don't know if you can guess what this is, this gorgeous chandelier hanging beautifully in the middle of this hotel. You can see this very dramatic chandelier, and the entire thing is made out of tampons. Here, these hanging sculptures are made from the tops of leather shoes. Here is an image of wings, all made out of gloves. And this form is made entirely out of straws glued together. And here is a jacket made from teddy bears. A wall sculpture made entirely from pencils. And you'll see some videos in this section about this artist, Tara Donovan, I believe. And this is all made 100% out of styrofoam. And you get a sense of her installations. They are entire room-size installations, and the styrofoam comes from, it's all styrofoam cups attached and taking on natural undulating curves because of the angle of the styrofoam cup. Here's another look, and one more. A little close-up there of the work. Here's a student piece that ended up winning first prize at the Fairfield Juried Art Show, grand prize. This was done in honor of 9/11, and what you see is the Twin Towers. They're made out of weld wire, so these rectangular towers are created with weld wire, and the insides are lined with collage images of first responders who died running to the rescue during 9/11. And if you get closer, what you see is all these little glass bottles hold pictures of first responders who gave their lives to try to save others. It's a very powerful piece. And after the exhibition where it won first prize, this is by Christina Golez, it was donated to a local fire station, which keeps it on display and brings it out every 9/11 as part of their ceremony, celebrating the first responders and their bravery. And here's one last image of a kind of a death mask made from cigarettes and from matches. So there's such a wide range of things you can play with, and you can see, like, this idea here virtually costs nothing in materials. Use your innovation and play around and look around, and you can find all kinds of ways to satisfy this assignment. And I hope you have fun, and I hope you make something so wonderful that I'll want to include a picture in this presentation for next year. Enjoy, stay safe, make art.